Now Mini has tossed an entirely different power plant into the mix, a plug-in hybrid version called the Mini Cooper SE Countryman All4, which, if we're frank, is a name nearly as bad, if not as amusing, as BMW individual M760 X-Drive Model V12 Excellence the next 100 years. As you may recall, that was the real car that BMW actually sold, presumably with the sort of straight face that's diametrically opposed to the light-hearted meme the Bavarians tried to project via their funky British brand. Nicer innards, while the previous generation Countryman felt too cheap inside for its lofty price point, this latest model is a nice piece, one not bedeviled, at least when new, by the shakes and rattles that seem to plague any Mini hardtop more stiffly sprung than the base Cooper. The material quality is vastly improved inside, and it retains the brand's whimsical circular motif that folks find either adorable or cloying. We usually find ourselves in the latter camp. The SE Hybrid comes well equipped, and our test car was low on discretionary additions, featuring only parking assist, $500, a head-up display, $750, and a 1-year subscription to SiriusXM satellite radio, $300. The last $500 on the options sheet were eaten up by the melting silver metallic paint. Dynamically, the electrified Countryman falls a bit short of the brand's sippy heritage. At 3,915 pounds, it's a whole ton and a quarter heavier than Sir Alec Guinness's original Mini. It's motivated by a combined 221 horsepower from a 134 horsepower turbocharged 1.5-litre inline-3 driving the front wheels and an 87 horsepower electric motor powering the rears. The pair of power plants pushes the Countryman to 60 miles per hour in a respectable 5.8 seconds, but there's a sort of leadenness to its behavior that the spry BMW X1 avoids, even if the Mini bests the last AWD example of the bimmer we tested through the quarter-mile by 0.3 seconds. The BMW does manage to outperform the Mini on the skid pad, pulling 0.84 grams to this Countryman's 0.82. The Mini's steering is direct, accurate, and reasonably weighted, although we'd ask for more feel through the tiller. Occasionally, the steering seems eager to write checks. The portly chassis is hesitant to cash, resulting in moderate understeer and some wallowy behavior during spirited driving. Where we felt the plug-in Countryman really fell down was under braking. Its 193-foot stop from 70 miles per hour was 17 feet farther than the non-hybrid S we recently tested. Worse is that the hybrid's pedal features a dead, empty bit of travel at the top, where there's no noticeable action, regenerative or mechanical, going on. Fundamentally, the electrified portion of the car feels like a hastily engineered afterthought, and perhaps the most miraculous things about the hybridization are that packaging the extra mechanicals raises the rear seat by only 1.2 inches and impinges on cargo volume, whether the rear seats are up or down, by less than half a cubic foot. Pretty mild for a plug-in hybrid. It seems curious that Mini went to the trouble of launching a new plug-in hybrid for 2018 that offers, per the EPA, a mere 12 miles of electric-only range from its 7.6 kWh battery pack. To put that in perspective, the Toyota Prius Prime is rated at 25 miles on electricity alone, while the Chevrolet Volt carries a 53-mile stamp from the EPA. Even BMW's 330e, which uses the same battery pack paired with a Torque electric motor, nets a 14-mile score. We saw 27 overall. Blame our eager right feet. Coincidentally, this Mini's EPA combined fuel economy rating is a mere 27 miles per gallon, 2 miles per gallon better than the 3-cylinder Cooper All4 with an automatic and only 1 mile per gallon better than the Cooper S All4. If you're not diligent about plugging in, you'll be filling up frequently thanks to the hybrid's small, 9.5-gallon tank. While the new Countryman, as a whole, stands as a big step up over its predecessor, the plug-in version is a bit of a mishmash. Despite the fact that Mini rates it as the second quickest Countryman in the stable after the racy John Cooper works, it's not as enjoyable to drive as the non-hybrid Cooper S model. Its generous level of standard equipment means that if you're not in need of the sharpest feeling big mini in the shed, and local Collab sales incentives work in your favor, it could be a way to save some money on a well-trimmed Countryman. Plug it in religiously and have the right use case, and you might save even more. But if the goal is just to throw roughly $40,000 at a small crossover that's a pleasure to drive, we point you toward a building that's very likely right next door to your local mini store. In case you missed it, here's a blue and white roundel over the door.